I grew up in the city of Montebello. Um, I was born in Texas though, but my family moved out here when I was a baby, and I grew up in LA County my whole life. The Boyle Heights. My mother was from the neighborhood, well is, but she's not active, and she got in when she was 13, and she always tried to hide it from me. She didn't want me to get involved in that life, and yeah. I mean, it is common for children of parents who were in white fence to also get into the neighborhood. It just seems like that's the natural progression. But like I say, my mom always tried to hide it from me and never wanted me to be in this life. She did her best, but I made my own choices. And I know a lot of my little homies, their parents were from white fence, and their parents also didn't want them to get in. But it's just we're here, and this is our environment. Growing up in white fence, it was a lot of, you hear about a lot of people passing away, going to jail for a long time. And, I always try to avoid that life. I told myself when I was young, I wasn't going to join a gang, but the situations I put myself in growing up, it was just natural for me to join for the family aspect and, camaraderie and stuff like that. We share similar situations, and whenever I was in jail, I never been to prison, and I never want to, but county and local jails, for the most part, the police know about white fence, the history, and the sheriffs that run the county, they always show me respect, and never try to come at me wrong, and always tell me about my older homies, and they respect it. And but and the fellow prisoners, while we all stick together, all the Sureños, the Southsiders, the Mexicans, we all stick together in there, and we try not to bring outside beef inside. I mean, to any children, youngsters out there, watching and thinking about joining a gang or are involved in that lifestyle, I would definitely not recommend it. It's for a select few, and it's very taxing on your spirit and soul and body. It drains you, and it wants to leave you empty, and the only outcomes are death, jail, and just it's not a lifestyle to be glamorized. I've never met Kilroy personally, but I've heard about him, and a lot of the older homies, big homies that started or were involved with the prison gang, the Emma, and I mean that's a no-no to turn around and serve God after that. You basically sign over your life to them when you join, and they're your God. You can't serve no other God besides them, basically. And so to do that, I mean, to me personally, God is a big part of my life. It might seem like a contradiction, but I love God, and I always try to thank him every day, for being alive and making it another day. And I respect what he's doing, um, and I'll support that anyway. I know you're told, if anybody turns around and serves God after, they're not welcomed, and there's consequences. But to me, that's none of my business. I never try to get involved with politics, and I respect everybody, and I just try to keep it 100 myself. And I love God myself, and one day I see myself serving him also. It's just the situations I'm in. That's why I'm trying to remove myself from it and take a step back and look at the bigger picture. I mean, as I see it, God has a plan for me, and one day it'll come to full fruition. I started out trying to serve him, and I was on fire for God. I went to Bible college and graduated and everything, and I just had a moment of falling out with the way churches are run these days. There's a lot of back talk and gossip and judgment, and I feel when you go to church, you're there to be free, as if nobody's there. It's just you and God. And when you feel you have eyes on you because of the way you dress or tattoos, it just doesn't feel good. So I had to remove myself, and I don't blame God. I looked to man. That was my fault, and I just try to have a personal relationship with Him. I know you're not supposed to forsake the gathering of the saints, but if it's gonna be a bad thing in my life, I'd rather avoid going to church. And one day I might find a church that I could serve God with, and help Him expand the kingdom of God. But I know the times we're living in now is very near the end, and I'm just preparing myself spiritually for the day I meet Him, and trying to live my life for Him. And like I say, I know one day I was called to be a prophet or an evangelist, and I've been to other countries to spread the word, and I enjoy all that aspect, just the church aspect. And I didn't like that part. Growing up in a neighborhood like Boyle Heights, and more specifically Y Fence territory, which is a big part of Boyle Heights, I feel our territory, we're boxed in, surrounded by our enemies, and we're in the box, and just growing up with the history of Boyle Heights, and the corrupt police departments, and just and as far as Hollywood aspect, they're always over here to film their gang versions or whatever, their interpretations of gang life, and they always want authentic and real, so they come to Boyle Heights. We started the gang banging trend, and so everybody knows that Boyle Heights is where gang banging is real, so that's where they come to film their interpretations. And I've always seen on my block, they call it the hole, there's always camera crews all the time, taped off segments of the street with camera crews all the time. It's not a rare experience to see movies being filmed in this neighborhood.